What's going on, family? What's going on? What's going down? What's shaking? Welcome to Jonathan Soul Sundays. Sit back and relax. You know what I mean? Do the dishes, clean up the house, jog, whatever it is that you do on a Sunday that you can speak about in polite company. Whatever you do on a Sunday, go ahead and do it and let me play in the background. I'm going to bring you some groovy conversations, some interesting thoughts, usually from people who create the world they want to live in. You know, writers, artists, filmmakers, that type of vibration. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Jonathan Soul Sundays. Sunday Soul coming right at you. I wanted to give you guys something since next Saturday, I think it's Saturday, Star Wars Rogue One comes out. I wanted to give y'all guys something, an alternative, because I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of frustrated with the whole Lucas thing. I mean, I saw A New Hope. How old was I back then? I don't think I was in elementary school yet. So I was in kindergarten or Head Start. They called it. You know, when I seen it, we were so young that my sister, who's a couple years older than me, thought that Chewbacca was like a trained bear. So that's how young we were. So I have a special appreciation that Gen X has a special appreciation for the Star Wars franchise back when it actually inspired people, you know. And by the way, now that it hit me, if you guys want to hear a very interesting take on Star Wars, look up Mumia Abu-Jamal's talk on Star Wars. It was just one of his little kind of broadcasts. You know, Mumia Abu-Jamal, an incredible journalist, both, you know, like just writing and broadcast. Arrested for a crime he didn't commit. He's been on death row for, I think, 20 or almost 30 years now. And but anyway, years back, he did his take on Star Wars, and it talked about empire, talked about how America saw themselves as rebels, when in fact they became the empire, kind of thing. And the people that we was dropping bombs on were the rebels, you know, kind of thing. But you know, that's not how we saw it. It was just heavy. I've heard a lot of people philosophize about the Force, and it's all but the way Abu Jamal broke it down, it's like, wow. And I think that's probably at the root of why it was so popular, because maybe the folk that were standing out, because back in the day, I mean, people would wait for fucking days. You know, you think the lines for the first and second iPhone was long? Just imagine back in the 70s. Now, I was too little to be in the lines. I wasn't even in school yet. But, yeah, that's how inspired we were. But we saw ourselves, we meaning the country, saw ourselves as the rebels. We didn't see ourselves as the empire. So that was like some mad self-delusion. But anyway, this, you know, not to get too heavy on you. But, yeah, check that out if you get a chance. All right, so I'm not going to see Rogue One. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm going to offer you. I'm going to offer you 8 fan films that I think will be better than Rogue One. They're definitely better than The Snore Awakens. Definitely. You know, come on now. You really gonna replace Darth Vader with a crybaby One Direction? Hey, what's that boy band y'all like? Oh, she got her headphones on. I mean, really? You gonna replace him with Saved by the Bell? You know, One Direction, Beastie Boy type. You really gonna replace Darth Vader? That's how you living? Really, Lucas? That's how it get down, baby? Really, Disney? Really? Come on now. But anyway, all right. So the first one, and this is just my order. You know what I mean? All right. First one is Darth Maul Apprentice. Boss. This will show you the level of quality that the fan films have achieved. Mad boss. Now, the strongest part about this, of course, is in this particular film is the special effects. The plot is nominal. It's mostly fighting, which is beautiful. That's what you want to see when you saw more of this, more lightsaber battles in this fan film than all of the Snore Awakens. Okay, so what is it about? It starts out with Maul, you know, on this little, you know, with these little floating panels, and then somebody's coming to the planet, some Jedi, and then the master is saying, hey, you got to fuck these guys up if you want to be down with the Sith side of life and all this other kind of stuff. So he goes out there and, you know, and so the fight choreography, the special effects, the makeup on Maul, the props, the lightsaber hilts, everything is top notch. Definitely go check that out. It's on YouTube. All of these films on YouTube. Darth Maul Apprentice. Second one is probably my personal favorite. It's called Exile, EP1, so episode 1, Exile. So it starts out, this apprentice and this master are talking, looking into the sunlight. It might be a little waka 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 going on. I don't know. That's implied. And they don't show it. It's implied. But next thing you know, dun 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 dun, there's some kind of menace, and they got to fight the menace. And so it's a fairly short film, but the props are good. The dialogue is good. When I say good, I mean it's on par with what you've seen in the Star Wars movies. And I'm not going to tell you, but there's a little surprise at the end. So again, this movie, I swear to you, on my stack of comic books, that this movie, this Exile is better than The Force Awakens. You know what I mean? It's better than The Force Awakens. Now, is it dramatic with the music and the nah, they don't got that budget. But in terms of just a quality piece of film that tells a story, it's better than The Snore Awakens. All right, Exile, episode 1. All right, this is another one of my favorites. All right, Star Wars versus The Way of the Shadow. Love this film. Okay, I think it's French. All right, because it's definitely not Spanish. And so, two rebel people from the Rebel Alliance or whatever walking through the woods, la la la, or something like that. And then no, I'm sorry. I think it's a Jedi. I think one is a Jedi and one is a rebel. Anyway, long story short, they it's a rebel guy. So two rebels, right? A girl and a guy. They're walking in the woods, and then they meet this I don't want to say a rogue Jedi, but let's just say he's not exactly, on time in class at the Jedi Temple. And he just wants to be left alone. Jedi wants to be left alone, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And so then the stormtrooper people come or whatever, and then there's other Sith people that come. And so it's this grand battle. I mean, they spent just the props alone, the way they outfitted all these people in stormtrooper gear. That's a lot of bread. Okay, that's a lot of bread. So it's a very compelling story. And I think it's like 20 minutes or so. You really care about the characters. Again, it's another Star Wars story we probably will never see because of the profit motive of capitalism. But thank God for fan films and CGI and cosplay shops, because they did, all these forces came together to create a beautiful film. Star Wars versus Way of the Shadow. Now, this is another one of my favorite films. This is one of the few films that gave me goosebumps watching it. I don't get goosebumps that often, okay? I'm not a goosebump prone person. But there's this character called Revan. Any hardcore Star Wars heads know who Revan is. I'm not hardcore Star Wars. I limit myself to the movies. I don't read legends. I don't know if something is in canon or out of canon. Why they're still using cannons. Isn't lasers more effective? Whatever. So there's this character. So basically, long story short, it's called the Old Republic Rescue Mission. And so, again, wonderful job on makeup. They got the lady with the tails, the head tails people and everything. So this person is a person of interest. They're captured by some Mandalorian people. And then they get ambushed. I'm not going to tell you the whole thing, but there are Jedi that are involved, and there's this dark Jedi or gray Jedi, pinstripe Jedi that comes by the name of Revan. And I don't want to tell you everything, but it's some dialogue in there that's better than any dialogue that you've seen in the second trilogy. The first trilogy has some dope dialogue, you must unlearn, all that kind of shit like that. They had some, you never seen none of that stuff in the second trilogy. All you heard was, sorry, master. You know what I mean? I fucked up, master. Yes, master. That's all you heard in the second one. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this one, Rescue Mission, has some dope dialogue. There's some, the reason why I got goosebumps is there's one scene where two Jedi are fighting, and then both of them are kicking their own philosophy. and the one Jedi is kicking a slightly different philosophy than the other one, and it was just so dope. That's all I can say. So definitely, I would be honest with you. Check this one out first. The Old Republic Rescue Mission, and in terms of quality and story and acting, these actors really stand out. They really do, particularly the one who was the person that eventually got captured in the beginning. She's a real cutie pie. So definitely check this one out. All right, these ones goes into my this is just as dope honorable mention category. A short one called Sith Tradition. Uh, two people in the desert, the Sith master and the Sith apprentice, and they're just talking, and then they beef. But the dialogue is so strong and the special effects are so tight that it just works. Even the fight choreography is strong. So I just, out of respect, I got to tell you, go check out Sith Tradition on YouTube. Now, there's another one. This one is a little old, but that's okay. Let me see here. A Light in the Darkness, a Star Wars fan film. It's in 3 parts. And it's very beautiful. As long as as long as I think each part is maybe 20 minutes. But it's beautiful. This happened after Order 66, and there's one Jedi left. He escaped, and I don't want to tell you the whole thing. I'll just say that it's Star Wars fan films fall into 2 categories. You got the lightsaber heavy shit. The special effects, the CGI and everything. And then you got the ones where they try to give you an emotional kind of a story because, let's face it, Star Wars is a very moody, at least it can be, kind of film. It's not like Star Trek. Star Trek to me is very mechanical. It's not very moody. I never got emotional, or hype watching Star Trek, even though I love the original series. Next Generation was I love the counselor, the counselor. She was nice. And, I never seen, and Deep Space Nine, of course, was boss. Deep Space Nine was the only one that kind of got a little moody for me. And so this particular one, A Light in the Darkness, kind of falls toward the moody side, even though you can tell they spent a lot of time and attention on special effects and props, mostly practical effects. The lightsaber hilts, the clothes, the little, little mask and makeup they do is very strong. They put a lot of effort into it. It's definitely something you should watch. A Light in the Darkness, A Light in the Darkness, a Star Wars fan film. And the last 2 I think are really dope. A Dark Resurrection. It's a foreign film. I think they're speaking French, but I can't swear to it. Long story short, you'll see a lot of this in the fan films. I usually don't key into the young Padawan, unfinished their training by a teacher, and then they get attacked, and then they have to. I usually don't get into that kind of stuff, but and there's a lot of those kind of films out there. But this one is strong. It's very well written, very well acted. Long story short, this kind of a New Hope kind of little young Padawan. And, the master, and they go to this place that's dangerous, and then some shit happens, and this, that, and the third. And then she ends up doing something maybe she wasn't supposed to do in order to. And I just put it like this. It's definitely worth the watch. It's a longer film. I think it's an hour and change. But it's definitely one of those, instead of like Netflix and chill, I'm trying to start something called Fan Films and Chill. It's one of those fan films and chill type movies. Definitely get you some chai like this and cuddle up to this movie. Dark Resurrection, a fan film on YouTube. And last but not least, it's dope. You know what I mean? It's more heavy on the fight choreography. Some of the best fight choreography I've seen. This movie is called The Last Jedi, and it's in 3 parts. And the story is strong, but it's strongest on the fight choreography and the special effects. And so it's just one of those fun films to watch. And they put a lot of time and energy into it. I definitely would ask you guys to check it out. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Darth Maul, Apprentice, talking about Exile, talking about Star Wars versus Way of the Shadow, talking about the Old Republic rescue mission. That's my favorite. Talking about Sith tradition, Dark Resurrection, A Light in the Darkness, a Star Wars fan film, and The Last Jedi. So all of these, I think, will be better in some aspects than Rogue One. Why? Because the brother is going to get killed first. All of the scenes with Donnie Yen and the other brother, we've probably seen all of their scenes already in the trailers. And, you know, if you notice, the Star Wars vibration seems to be, we're just going to do what we did back in the 70s. We'll just replace the guy with a girl. That seems to be the vibe. But it was some philosophy. It was some beauty. It was some other stuff. I mean, Star Wars was a space opera. And it seemed like we're getting a lot of space, but no opera with this new rendition. But anyway, that's why I'm not going to see it. Hey, family, I hope y'all enjoyed that episode of Jonathan Soul Sundays. We'll post a brand new episode next Sunday. Y'all will dig it. You can set yourself a little reminder or whatever it is you do. But if you follow me on social media, you'll be able to see it posted. Speaking of social media, you can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, and YouTube. Jonathan Soul, JohnAthanSoul on Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, and coming soon to Facebook and iTunes. And if I made you smile, if I made you think a little bit, if I got the gears turning, be kind enough to support a brother. Go over to Amazon.com and pick up my ebook, my sci-fi novel, Malcolm Mars. Malcolm like the prophet, Mars like the planet. Three brothers take their families to Mars to build a new life for themselves in a homemade starship. There's intense stuff, thriller kind of vibration. You know what I mean? There's some politics in there. We bounce from Earth to Mars to Palestine, different other places. There's some, alien stuff happening over there, and then it's everything I wanted to see in a novel that I didn't see in that kind of combination. I put in that novel, so y'all will definitely enjoy this immersive experience. And so go over to Amazon.com, look up Jonathan Soul on there, or you can just type in Malcolm Mars by Jonathan Soul, and then it'll pop right up. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you in advance. God bless you. The ancestors bless you. But yeah, family, hope all your dreams come true. Peace.